Imagine creating a billion-dollar brand that sells plain t-shirts and then losing it all because you decided pants were optional. It started as a dream or made a fever. Los Angeles, early 2000s. Dov Charney, a man who believed fashion could change the world. He called it Made in America. And to be fair, the message was brilliant. Sweatshop freeze, parent. But somewhere between his fourth lawsuit and his sixth inappropriate staff meeting, people started wondering, is this guy running a company or hosting a reality show? At first, it was magic. American Apparel became the cool kid of the fashion world. The ads were bold, real people, raw lighting, zero Photoshop. And that's when the brand made its first big mistake. It believed its own hype. You see, controversy can make you famous, but it can't make you smart. You can't be the underdog when you're the CEO yelling freedom in your underwear. And those lawsuits, oh, they didn't stop. They multiplied faster than interns quitting. Blur, allegations of misconduct, sexual harassment, and creative work environments that sounded more like bad reality TV. But Dov didn't see the problem. In his mind, he was a genius misunderstood by mortals. They don't get me. Yet somehow, business boomed. Because nothing sells like scandal. For a while, every new lawsuit was free marketing. Yet somehow, business boomed. Because nothing sells like scandal. For a while, every new lawsuit was free marketing.
Inside the office, things got weirder. Employees described it as a cult where the leader occasionally forgot where the line between founder and a flirt was. Mr. Joyce. He wasn't just the CEO. He was the sun, the moon, and several HR violations orbiting in between. And while
by 2010, sales started slipping. Turns out, you can't shock people forever. Once you've seen 50 nearly nude ads, but Dov didn't pivot. He doubled down. More provocation, more chaos. It was like watching someone trying to fix their reputation. Then came 2014. The board finally woke up and asked, wait, are we the bad guys?
they fired him, and for once, HR sighed in relief. But Dov wasn't done. He called it a conspiracy.
By 2015, American Apparel went bankrupt. The empire built on rebellion was sold off to Gildan, a Canadian company, and so the mighty fell tide. Not because the clothes stopped selling, but because the man at the top thought rules were just creative suggestions. Let's unpack the comedy of errors here. Mistake number one, thinking being a genius excuses being reckless. It doesn't. Mistake number two, confusing controversy with strategy. Attention isn't loyalty, and shock value has an expiration date. Mistake number three, hiring your ego as CMO. A brand can survive bad quarters, but it can't survive a founder who thinks he's immortal. And yet somehow, amid the absurdity, there's a weird kind of beauty here. Charney did change fashion. He made it. Then he proved they'd pay even more to watch a slow motion collapse. Because in the end, American Apparel wasn't just a clothing company. If hubris had a dress code, this would be it. Unbuttoned too far, deeply confident, and one lawsuit away from bankruptcy. And the final twist? Dov Charney, even after everything, still believes he was right. Somewhere, he's probably designed words. So what is the lesson here? Simple. Don't mistake charisma for competence. Don't run your personal therapy session, because the fall of American Apparel isn't just about bad leadership. It's about the dangerous illusion that personality is enough to hold a business together. Success forgives a lot pale until it doesn't. And when the music stops, all that's left is the sound of cotton tearing and investors sighing. So next time you see someone bragging that their startup is like American Apparel but for something else, just smile politely and back away. Because history has already shown what happens when a brand confuses confidence with chaos. It becomes a very expensive lesson in what not to do. American Apparel didn't collapse because of competition or economy or fate. It collapsed because its leader forgot that in business, style can't save stupidity. And that's the story of how one man turned a revolution into a punchline chime, proving that the only thing more dangerous than fast fashion is fast ego. Imagine creating a billion-dollar brand that sells plain t-shirts, and then losing it all because you decided pants were optional. Once upon a time in Los Angeles, the land of sunshine, ambition, and slightly inflated egos, a man named Dov Charney had a dream.
Soft, stretchy, proudly made in America cotton. The kind that whispered, "I'm ethical," but screamed, "I'm hot." And somehow, he pulled it off.
In the early 2000s, American Apparel wasn't just a clothing brand, it was a lifestyle. Basic tees, hoodies, and leggings.
In an industry drowning in fast fashion from overseas, this felt like a revolution. Dov Charney was hailed as a villain. He was eccentric, fearless, and allergic to shirts. He slept in the office, walked around half-dressed, and talked.
Somehow, it worked. The man sold authenticity, and people bought it. By 2008, American Apparel.
But fame does funny things to people. One day, you're the cool underdog, and the next, you're the boss everyone's afraid to email. The warning signs were there. Lawsuits, complaints, HR disasters, all piling up like unpaid invoices.
His vision apparently included running photo shoots that looked like art school projects filmed in someone's bedroom. Provocative? Yes. Professional? Not exactly. At first, it was edgy and refreshing. Then it got creepy. The line between art and exploitation blurred faster than the focus on his camera lens.
Still, controversy sold. The media called him daring. The customers called him cool. The lawyers called him often.
But you can't run a company on chaos forever. What started as bold branding slowly turned into corporate self-destruction, one awkward interview at a time. The final act came not with a bang, but with a board meeting. One moment, Dov was king. The next, he was escorted out of his own kingdom. His downfall was poetic. The man who built his brand on transparency was brought down by what everyone could already see, his ego. It's almost Shakespearean, except with fewer swords and more lawsuits. The tragedy of a man who could have been legendary. And that's American Apparel chess. Proof that you can make a fortune selling simplicity and lose it all living complicated. If there's one thing to learn from Dov Charney, it's that brilliance doesn't make you bulletproof, especially when you're the one pulling the trigger. Because for all his flaws, Charney wasn't wrong about everything. He saw what others didn't, that people crave authenticity in a world of fakes. But authenticity without boundaries turns into chaos. And chaos doesn't build legacies. In harmony, it buries them. In the end, American Apparel's greatest irony wasn't its fall. It was how quickly people forgot why it rose in the first place. Because long before the lawsuits, before the scandals, there was an idea that you could build something ethical, local, and real. And for a while, that worked. Maybe that's the real tragedy, Hing, that beneath the chaos, there was genius. But genius, unchecked, always eats itself alive. Because while others were outsourcing labor, Dov was insourcing madness. And somehow, that madness made magic, until it didn't. So maybe the fall of American Apparel isn't just a story about failure. Maybe it's a mirror can, showing us what happens when vision turns into vanity. Every empire starts with belief fakes and ends when belief becomes delusion. That's not just business, that's human nature. So here's to American Apparel, the empire of cotton and chaos. Proof that you can build a brand with passion, destroy it with pride.